allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do 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 do. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do 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 do. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na you be number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us this weekend. This is Brunch Time with Mayegun live. Thank you very much, brethren, for joining me. And apologies. that we are starting this late is a total miscalculation. I forgot that the Celtic game was on today, so everywhere was like a joke. But I am here now, and please read the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast, and then share it after liking the broadcast to invite your friends and your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayego's brunch time is live. And indeed, brunch time is our moment called the snippets. The snippets of what is still to come later tonight. So we are starting this afternoon with a story of Okuama Community Leader. How many of us remember the military invasion of Okuama, a Okuama community in Ugheli local government area of Delta State? It's called the Ugheli South, Okuama, where the Nigerian military, Nigerian army to be precise, accused the community of killing killing Nigerian soldiers in what could be considered a state-sponsored terrorism against the armless community who were just so unfortunate to have had the array of oil bunkerers within their community, especially the riverine community in that axis of Delta State. Okuama community came to the spotlight in March 2024 when some soldiers were killed by oil bunkerers in what later come up as to show that it was indeed the den of oil bunkerers, the fight between the oil thieves and then the soldiers in that area, in which the soldiers themselves are involved in oil bunkering, oil theft in the Niger Delta part of Nigeria. Delta State to be precise, Ugheli South. Ugheli South, yeah. So the Nigerian army put out a story that was completely false. And they used that as a cover-up they used the attack on that community as a cover-up for what exactly the soldiers were doing in that community. Let me remind you, this part of Nigeria is, it's a behave center, okay, for oil thieves. There are those who are like the militants who are from that area, pretty much like oil bunkers. They have their oil storage, crude oil storage, where they are stealing crude oil and storing them. The Okuama community is a very small community that borders, it's like a riverine area, okay? So the activities of oil thieves is very rampant in that area. However, the Nigerian army themselves are involved in oil theft or the protection of the oil thieves in that area. Somehow, something went down or something gone wrong in the axis where the oil thieves and the Nigerian soldiers attacked themselves. In the process, they killed about 11 or so of them, the soldiers, and then they buried them, took their weapons away. The militants that did all of that left the community weeks before the Nigerian army made the announcement of the missing soldiers. Now, when the Nigerian army put out a story on the matter, right, it was complete falsehood. which was just a bit of a cover-up, to cover up what exactly the soldiers were doing there. So the true story was that there were rival gangs involved in stealing crude oil, Nigeria crude oil from that place. However, the soldiers, they were loyal to one group, and the other group felt like they are using their influence as the soldiers of Nigeria, right, to scheme them out of a business. So this particular set of soldiers, they were on a mission that was completely out of their own depth. Talking about going out to help the other rival gang take out another gang, which really sort of gone wrong. In the process, they killed these soldiers. So to cover it up, the Nigerian army, the hierarchy of it, they unleashed terror on the entire community because they witnessed it. So the Nigerian army told a story, which was a lie, that these skilled soldiers, they visited this Okuama community that, according to them, was fighting a land battle with another community next to them. And they went there for peace talk. And on their way back, the community attacked them, disarmed them, disarmed about 15 soldiers. So we started digging, and it became obvious that it has nothing to do with land, the land crisis or whatever they put out then. But what we didn't know, even though we saw the soldiers, the Nigerian army, right, unleashed a full-scale terror on the entire community, burning down the properties and shooting anything that moves, including women and children. People ran into the forest for their lives. And from far, the Nigerian army made a video to say Okuama community is now gone. If you remember this clip. So that was the community after the Nigerian army invaded the community. So most of the residents had to run into the bush, and they were in the bush for weeks for their lives. But what we didn't know at the time was that they made some arrests, including the leader of the community, this man called I want to pick up his name, Oghoroko. So they took this man to Abuja since that March, and they have been torturing him, beating him up until 2 days ago, when it is now confirmed that he died in their detention after a long time torture by the Nigerian army. They've remained quiet since the news broke. So many people are now asking the supposed governor of a Delta state, because when this happened, a lot of people came out to debunk the story of the Nigerian army, that this whole thing was the oil bunkering business gone wrong between rival gang, that normally the Nigerian army, they were supposed to stop the stealing of crude oil if they ever get involved in, as law enforcement. I don't know if they are actually law enforcement, by the way, but yeah, they were supposed to stop the oil theft. But rather than stop the oil theft in Niger Delta, they get so much involved, deeply involved, that their own soldiers ended up, instead of appearing as soldiers of Nigeria, they were pretty much like militants themselves, illegal bunkerers themselves. So they covered this all up. Lagbaja was the one that commissioned this carnage, this massacre at the time, that it was reported that over 200 people were slaughtered and their bodies taken away in what was considered as a revenge on the armless civilians. How could the civilians that welcomed the Nigerian army to their community with drums, dancing, singing, and all that, offered them cola. The leadership of the community said they were welcomed into their town hall where they had a meeting. And in their mind, they know that the military, the soldiers, they were in the community to probably provide safety or security for the civilians. But they didn't know that the whole agenda was actually to come and survey the place, ask them to submit their weapons if they have any weapons. And then a few hours after that, they brought in, gunboats. Nigerian army brought in gunboats, and they started shooting anything and everything that was moving in that community. So this was just a cover-up, indeed. But we didn't know that they took the supposed community leader since March 2024, only for the man to die in their custody 2 days ago. There is no court that granted them the custodian right to keep anyone. Nigerian army have no custodian power. They do not have any power to jail or to lock anybody up. But unfortunately, Nigeria is a lawless place. One of the questions that people have been asking is, although Nigeria happens to people every day, until it happens to you, you are likely never going to even believe some of the things that are happening in that place. But imagine if that was your own father. Imagine if that Oghoroko is your own father to start with. And then they did him this dirty. Okay? Took an old man to the military base in Abuja, tortured him until he died in their custody. They never charged him to court. They were torturing him for what exactly? To produce the militants that confronted the Nigerian soldiers, or what? So the Nigerian army has kept quiet on this news, and it is ideal to put it out there that the Nigerian army, they have tortured a community leader in Niger Delta part of Nigeria to death, Okuama community to be precise, after they did this. Asari Dokudom came out and said the oil bunkering in Niger Delta part of Nigeria is being done and perpetuated mostly by the Nigerian army, including Nigerian Navy. Yeah, Asari Dokudom has his own, shortcomings and all that, but he was saying the truth. So what did he get in return? They threatened him. They told him that if it's sure for him, he should come to the battlefield with them, and they guaranteed that he will be killed. However, Asari said that he told the thiefnubu one-on-one that the stealing of Nigerian crude oil is done mostly by the supposed agencies of a government that were supposed to protect all those resources themselves. And he didn't lie. And that is why the stealing of Nigerian crude oil is never going to end or stop. And there are so many of these Nigerian soldiers in the Niger Delta part of Nigeria whose reasons why they are there is to either protect oil thieves or to get involved in it themselves. Just like you have the Nigerian customs, who are supposed to protect your border from smugglers, but rather they are in bed with these smugglers. And this is the contraption. There are some things that it is believers, it could be saved. No, it can't be saved. On this, I expect a lot of the people from the Delta State, to be precise, to at least come up and demand for a serious probe. I don't know if that's the right thing now, or better still to take the Nigerian military up on the killing of this community leader. Why would you lock him up since March? That's like 9 months ago. For 9 solid months, tortured him until he died in your custody. And there's nobody that will be held responsible. Nobody. Because to them, they are pretty much like above the law. I said that sometimes earlier this year, around that March, I said, the Nigerian army being the ones protecting the supposed regime, the illegitimate regime of thiefnubu, so they could get away with anything rather than them face any probe for all their atrocities and criminalities as well. So here is another victim of a failed country. So it is a turn-by-turn Nigeria Limited. Just for a moment, you can possibly just think about it. If this was your own father, your uncle, a member of your family, that got kidnapped by the military, tortured to death in a supposed democratic country. Think about that. Yesterday, the Nigerian police, this is a good one, by the way. It's not always like a huru, so to say. The Nigerian police shared a video, okay? And it was the rescue operation of some kidnapped people in Akwa Ibom states. According to them, they have already killed the kidnappers, but the scene of where, the place where they kept the victims is what really kind of prompted me to want to share this with you. They were not keeping them in the forest. They were keeping them inside the soakaway. This particular one.
Excuse. Come outside, please. All of you, everybody, please. Move a go. No, move a guy. Move a guy. One. No. Don't carry it like this. Please, just shift him. No. You can go back inside. Shift it. No, Oga, shift it, please. 1, 2, ready. Shift it. Shifting. Shifting the people. Shifting, what now? Rush, shifting. 1, 2, 3. Come back from that place. This one, 50 again. Spicy, shift your side. Shift your side, push. Put down for twice his side. It's okay. One can come. Please, they can come outside. Give your hands to them. We are police, come out. Oh, thank you, Jesus. You have been saved. Oh, yeah, bring your hand. You have been saved, sorry. Thank you. You have been saved and delivered. Let him say something. It's okay. No. Don't put inside my phone. Don't put inside my distance. Go and calm down. Barrister Obama. You are safe, don't worry. You are safe, don't shake. Relax. Go fast. Follow. We don't pass. That comes to no. Follow. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush. We are here. Don't rush yourself. They are not guilty. They are not guilty. They follow the goal. Don't fear anything. Don't fear anything. They go. My clan is innocent. Yes. Also, that is the commander's word. Yes.
You know, the old place. One guy was sharing his experience of him visiting Nigeria after 15 years abroad, and he encountered the police, who, according to him, he was, after arriving in Nigeria, especially, in Lagos, so he decided to go out. Give me a second. So he decided to go out. He freshened up, and while in the taxi, He said they got to a place, he wanted to go to like Ojota, just kind of go move around and just be like, I've not seen all these places for years. So when the police flagged them down, like to stop, he wasn't really bothered at first. Until when the police DP said inside and just like looked at him, like it was, I mean, sorry, he spotted just a t-shirt, nice, you know, pants, and then, you know, some sneakers on and all that. So he said the police looked at him and said, "Where are you going?" And he said, "No, I'm just going out there for sightseeing." "All right, calm down." So the moment he came down, he said the policeman looked at him from head to toe, right? And then the next thing, it was like, "Why did you dress like this?" I was like, He was feeling cool with himself, or like, you know, it was like, I mean, just simple stuff and all that, right? And then the next thing it was like, no, I just came back. Just came back to Nigeria yesterday. I was like, "Oh, so because you just came back to Nigeria, does that now make you like you are better than us?" "My friend, come here." So they moved him to another spot, not far from there, okay? And they started verbally like threatening him. And it's been someone who probably hasn't experienced that for, I mean, well, he hasn't experienced that for years. And at that moment, right, he said he started shaking. And when they saw that he was shaking, they visibly like shaking, like his voice like becoming like a croaky and all that, right? So they intensified the sort of the threats. And that it was talking to, it was supposed to be, they were supposed to be policemen, right? So after some hours, according to him, they let him go. But even while he was leaving, he was shaking, and he just told himself that I would never come back into this country and all of that stuff. I was like, so while I was reading that post, something came to my mind. I was like, what if it was the kidnappers that kidnapped you and you experience the real life kidnappers? Okay, like when I saw that video yesterday, this video I just shared with you, and those guys were like, these ones are like those who live in Nigeria already, who probably believes that this is the end, they're going to kill us. They were buried, pretty much like buried in a soak away. And they were negotiating with their families to come and pay the ransom. So the trauma, the PTSD of living or surviving in Nigeria. Somebody said, Nigeria is a place where you read a lot about people's experiences, and there is nothing that will compare what you read to experiencing it yourself. You have seen the stories, or you probably have seen videos after videos of people in kidnappers' den, or people being, you know, kidnapped by the police and extorted by the police. And you've read their stories. Sometimes you read these stories and you imagine it, and automatically you begin to have PTSD. You begin to have some level of a trauma. But none of this can ever be compared to experiencing it real life. Do you understand? So when I saw those people being lifted out of that hole yesterday, and I was like, oh, no, they will never remain the same. They will never remain the same. No matter what they have been through in their lives. First and first, so let's say thank you to these guys that rescued them, because that's exactly the job of the security agents. That's what it should be like. You should not be paying the police to do their job, because they are already supposedly to have been paid for what they are doing. Their job is to protect the lives and properties of everyone. But that is not the real life thing. It is a real one. If you get kidnapped or you get robbed and all that, and you go to the police station to report, you probably would even spend more money than what was robbed from you if you are looking for them to act on it. Or if you experience the kidnapping, I haven't. I have experienced the police kidnapping before. I have been in a situation whereby the supposed law enforcement agents were working their asses off to kind of get us roped in further mess, in further crime that we didn't commit, all because we are not going to pay them. And you see, the verbal exchanges as well will make you believe that this could be the end of your life in the hands of the people that are supposed to protect you. But I have never experienced being kidnapped by the kidnappers. I mean, while I was in Nigeria, kidnappings wasn't this a lucrative thing? Wasn't this like a everyday thing? About every day people are being kidnapped. Only a few of them are lucky enough to live to tell the story. But when you look at that video I shared with you earlier, even despite the fact that they are telling them that, listen, we are the security guys, so you are safe, they were still not sure. They were not sure. The trauma, well, you know, the feeling of, oh, is this really happening? Are we not going to die in Nigeria? And the more the economy gets tanked in Nigeria, the more people, the increase in crime, and we are all just like waiting disaster. We are waiting victims, so to say. So congratulations to those who got out from that. Another one is the story. You remember Ikenga? Ikenga is called Ugochinyere Ikenga of Imo. That's what I call him. The guy who has been campaigning for the sanctioning of Wike, who has held the PDP down for years now, right? Is a man who is above the PDP. However, Ikenga has been campaigning to get Wike sanctioned and possibly like expelled only for his own states to announce his own expulsion from PDP. Here is a letter that was released earlier yesterday. In fact, it was actually 2 days ago, but it got to the media yesterday. And they said he is to be expelled from their party with immediate effect. Wike has been playing what is called the anti-party game with them. He controls what happened inside the PDP to some extent. And it's pretty much like if you go for Wike, anyone, or maybe this is the reason why a lot of them never dares to go after Wike in their party. However, this guy who has been much outspoken has received his own expulsion. Though some of them says that this is just a joke, taken too far. But you can easily see the hand of Wike in all of this. He is above PDP, he is above their law, whatever, if they have any, he is above that. If you dare him, you are likely going to be the one to go. Wike has already started campaigning for thiefnubu for 2027. So PDP is not going to be in their contest. It's not going to be in the contest at all. As long as Wike is still parading himself as their member. So if you come for him, according to Wike, then they can get rid of you like they have, or they are doing to this guy. So you would have to end up going to court to fight it or not. Like I said, snippets. So going forward again, let's do it like a chop as well. So while we leave that in Imo, in that same eastern part of Nigeria, there is this, what do you call these traffic officers? What do you call them again? They have a name they call these guys who are like monitoring the rest of you on the road. Anyway, one of them got so drunk while on duty. In fact, I think it's also on the driver's seat of this agency, so to say. Let me show you.
Oh, why did you hit his car now? You are drunk. You are drunk. You are drunk. As a road official, you are drunk this hot afternoon. See what you've done in Nigeria too. You hit this car, and I'm begging. Oh my God. And you know, road safety, should you be driving and drinking? You are drunk already. And you are begging. You are begging. You can play forward. That this car is too well. Yeah, you're driving this motor, go back up. You are well drunk.
I'm sorry, bros.
You can imagine a road safety official, a two-star official, you are dead drunk this afternoon. Did this car 3 times?
I'm sorry.
She wala not too much. Federal Road Safety Corp, they are called the FRSC. Thank you very much. Federal Road Safety Corp. People who are supposed to be checking on the road users, that everyone is abiding by the rules, guiding the road, users. He was drunk. Then he was driving. Then he crashed into somebody else's car. And then he said, bros, I'm sorry. Yeah, she wala know too much. Sorry, bros, sorry. It took him forever to actually say that. People were supposed to keep you safe on the road. I know that is probably going to be his own, it should be his last day working as the FRSC guy. If he's not going to jail, at least that should be his last day at work. Why would you be so drunk in the afternoon? The same thing you see some of their policemen too. When they are barking order at you, come down, they are drunk. Some of them are high on God knows what substance, right? That's why you see the trigger-happy rogues, like just firing shots. Why did you shoot him? Because he's arguing with me. Arguing with you? You just killed someone. And most of the time when they chase people and they kind of cause accidents, they mostly just abscond, like they will leave the scene and run away. So it's like a jungle. Sometimes I wonder, how did I even survive in that place? You know that feelings where you be like, when you go to Nigeria, having left Nigeria for a while, because if you are living inside Nigeria, usually you don't really see it. Because most of it is always like normal. Okay? When police shoot people in front of you and you're like, oh, police, oh yeah, police don't kill them. Or a crash happens and just be like, they bring the bodies on the streets, on the road. And you're like, oh my God, you're dead, oh yeah, can you imagine? Jesus, Jesus. And then you move away. If you are living inside Nigeria, as majority are, right, you do not really see how damaged the system is. So if you leave Nigeria and you then go back to Nigeria, all right, and you witness this abnormality, sometimes the shock alone can just suddenly just make you be like deaf and dumb, like, like that. Then you ask yourself, Papa,
used to live in this place, so I used to see all these things, so how did I survive here? So you really have to be somebody who is like, insensitive to some extent to survive in that Nigeria. And it doesn't matter if you think you are educated or you need it. No, it does nothing to do with education. In fact, with education, it even makes it worse. Because all you have to do is just to justify it. Look for something in your brain to justify these abnormalities and say, well, I mean, it happens and all of that. But the question you're going to ask yourself is, man, how did I survive in this place? The last time I went to Nigeria, I did tell you that, Abi. The last time I was there, it was so frustrating, Baba. Enough that I couldn't wait to get out. Like, I was like, man, let this plane just take me. Wherever this plane is going to take me, it should just leave this place, just fly. So the moment the plane started taxiing, I was like, oh, thank God. I have to leave. It was supposed to be a country that we can call our own. It was supposed to be our own. But the madness that happens there every now and then, you'll be wondering, how do you think people can actually really live long? And it keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. Even though majority of them will tell you that, well, you can stay where you are, don't come here again. But the truth is that, how do people survive in this chaotic place? And it keeps getting worse. Yeah? It keeps getting worse. Anyway, let's go to Lagos, where the madness is like headquartered. And Wahab, Tokumbo, our tour guide, will take us through again. First, their encounter with street traders 2 days ago.
Please, I'm begging him now. Please, I'm begging him.
Begging me for what?
I'm begging him for the shoes.
Okay. Are you hearing for the first time that you should not be displaying your market on the bridge?
I'm just here for the first time.
The bridge is meant for the pedestrians, okay, not for putting your market on, yes, on the bridge.
I've heard now.
Sinon, c'est l'histoire d'aller comme un bon, ok. On envoie! Hey! Oh, mais ok, allez là. Staka.
You must carry it. Let me carry it.
Let me have it.
Yes, carry it and go. Bye-bye. So you are going to see. You need to carry it.
Go down. Collect it from her. Yeah, take it away. Leave it. Take it away. Yeah. Thank you, sir. People are commending us. Better work.
Let me tell you this. Wait, now listen to me. Now, is it not impacting on the traffic? It's really impacting. That is why you always take your. That is why it is your job. That is what my boy. When I was in Agege,
Wahala everywhere you turn, wahala, and it is the same off the bridge. People who are selling stuff on the bridge. If you then go into the streets, it is the same. The craze, the madness, and it is like an unending one. Here is on the streets. Let Wahab take us again.
This one they do this money now from Oghoroko say make they come. So if you say you know yes, they say make you come on in a lie. Because this place na canal place. You're not supposed to put all these things here.
So you know I been here like 15 years.
If you here like 15 years and you know say you know because say you don't know what they happen.
Different people they come because even the one do canal like this make it come out the model. Even they do and finish make it stay for there. Even the right people, I get company, I dey pay tax. Local government, I dey pay.
You know what I go tell you now? All your paper, you go bring and come office.
So
bring everything, come office. So everybody go check, sit down, look down.
I like them.
Ask all any of them know whether I did not beg them myself.
I'm the one that leads the enforcement every time. Please come around. Come, because I know you very well. I'm the one that leads the enforcement every time we come around. What we are doing then, if you are Yoruba man, it's like a barber who is going to the town of the ball. We will not be able to take it out for evacuation. We put it at the edge. They will use the sand of it to fill their place, throw the dirt back into the canal. There are some of them, all these things we are seeing. Once they remove the sink outside it, they throw all this foam into the canal. And I told them, concerning the bridge we wrote to Niwa, we came for for inspection together, and we asked them, clear this place. We were going to deconstruct this bridge. Please, they need to now, if they want to deconstruct, then they will do a decompile that will allow free flow. Fine, but before we will do that, we need to clear this place, move this thing out perfectly, take it out. We've not been taking it out because it goes back into the canal. I totally agree with you. I came, I told them, I had a meeting with them. I had a meeting with them the other time. They came to my office, I begged them. On more than 3 occasions, I've come to tell them, move this thing. Because if I come, I'm not going to listen to anybody. On Tuesday, I came with 4 police officers with my boys to come and tell them again. They did not move. We are not.
When you wanted to demolish houses, yes, a lot of people protested. Yes, but the work you've done there now solved the flooding problem in that area. Because I have a property.
Listen, do you know what I did for them?
So we know your
for
work.
you to know that they just want to tentatively wicked me. I came, you are not here on approval. I say, wait, say you understand. My friend, if anybody gets a mechanic said no, what they will do for you to come back, I asked them to go to that. It's not my ministry. So that when we clear all these things, that I said, if you are here on destruction of the transportation, we don't need to come to you. We will write to transportation. These people you put here, let them be, so that we work and they come back. I gave them that opportunity. Go and meet them in transportation, so that you can, after we have gone, you can come and officially you'll be here. So we don't need to talk to you. We will talk to transportation. They will talk to you. Then we will do what we want to do. When we are done, you will resolve back. But they deliberately feel nothing can happen. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tow nothing less than 25 cars from here today. No, you want to talk. Please, I've abandoned you. No, I appreciate you. I'm just telling you that we're not here. He's here. I'm saying it in his presence, whether I'm lying. He's one of the executives. I ought to have arrested him. I'm serious, but I will not do that because he was one of those who came. He was one of those I've been talking to.
Even the project you're venturing into is not for your own.
It's not. I'm not living that. When we demolish Buffalo and create that part, I know where they petition my name to. I know how many of them that are taking me to court as if it's my work. Now, do I have a work
here in terms of law? We know.
Now,
you are here to assist us.
We've written to. That's why you see that they are moving their thing. It was an approval from NIWA. Now, we've written to NIWA, and I've told them by next year that bridge needs to be deconstructed. If they don't do that, we will do it ourselves. Now, if you still want to maintain it, go and do a decompile that the base will be free. If they don't do that, we'll deconstruct it.
I agree.
Now, if we have got into that, and I call you as my people to talk to you, beg you, and you didn't do. I'm telling you, let them deny it. On Tuesday, I came with 4 police officers. Come and beg them for me. Again, after several appeals.
Please, sir. I can understand. Thank you, sir.
Do you see that heat of death? The canal they are talking about, it's not even like a proper channeled sort of fed canal. You're supposed to build around it. We have canals here. Yeah, you see those people who are like operating their business next to the canal, dumping their refuse and everything to further block it. The whole place itself does not show that the government is interested in channeling this wastewater out of those communities. It is just like, okay, canal, dirty, stinking, dark water, right? That is not really built, so to say. But you see all that show of other kind of like called a show of performative performance. You build the canals, you have to build the canal, and then you genuinely have to get people off that place. But immediately after that show off now, maybe another year or two, everybody will be back there again. I was a little boy when I witnessed Buba Marwa, doing his own thing in Lagos. And it was almost like what we are witnessing now. And this is like 25 years after Marwa. they are still going after people, violating their order of please don't set up shop next to canals, or don't build on canals, don't this and that, and it will remain the same almost forever. But it is also a chance to show to us the mega city, Lagos, right? Wala everywhere in Ibadan. It is a pastor that is using human flesh. For what?
Pastor Kile Kurukore.
Peter Olúwa ló lè ṣe mí ìbá orí ọmọ yẹn.
Bó máa gbé sí ìgbà tó wá dé Ìbàdàn. Tó máa dé sí Ọ̀tà.
Wọ́n ti arrange tán mí ìfojú kan. Wọ́n ti arrange ẹbí sínú apẹ́.
Kí ló kọ church ẹlẹ́kan sí?
God has done it.
Àpapọ̀ ló wà ní Ìbàdàn.
Mo sọ pé àpáta la wà, àpáta nílùú Ìbàdàn, àpáta.
Àṣà ìdìbò lápáta.
Wọ́n ti dé àpáta sọ pé along the road off Bembo.
Okay. Ó ní ẹran ara tó gbà ní ibi tán ti pa Adejat pé kì í ṣe ẹran ara Adejat, ẹran ara ẹ̀mí tí wọ́n pa ni wọ́n gé fún ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀.
Bóyá sọ fún mi nìyẹn.
Pé kì í ṣe ẹran ara Adejat, pé ẹran ara ẹlòmíì.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ti ń rùn.
Wọ́n wá fún ẹni kó lọ fún èkejì ẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Ọkàn kéékèèké bá gbé ká.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí pásítọ̀, gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùṣọ́-àgùntàn, ṣe n tó dáa ní kí ẹ mọ̀ fi ara ẹ̀ ṣe.
Mo ti sọ ṣáájú ẹ dáríjì mi, kò dáa, Ọlọ́run dáríjì mi.
Ó tó gbà wo tó ti lo ẹran ara ẹ̀.
Mi ìlò oríṣẹ́ ò ní mo sọ yìí, ẹ dáríjì mi.
Kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí?
Peter Olúwa ló lè ṣe. Mi ìlò.
Peter Olúwa ló lè ṣe. Mr. Peter. You know, I did a program on the pandemic of ritual killings, skull mining, the pandemic, the epidemic of it in Yoruba land, where as the economy gets worse in Nigeria, as more and more of our people falls into abject poverty, so are innocent people are missing, kidnapped, and killed. Even the dead are not being allowed to rest in peace, where people are looking for easy way out, believing that they could do money rituals where they will become stupendously rich. How can you be rich by killing human beings and cutting off their heads and then mixing it with soap or all the human flesh? What the heck? Have you ever seen the richest ritualist using human beings? I did something, I said, see, you are murderers and you are sick people. If you were one of those who believes that there is money rituals, that you have to kill somebody, cut their flesh, cut their heads, and mix it with soap or something, that then you will then become what? If that is real, the richest man in the whole world should have come from Yoruba land to start with, or Nigeria. Your babalawo or your mamalawo, your pastors, the ritualists who are telling you that they can make you rich by killing somebody, cutting off their flesh and all of that. If it is real, they won't even tell you. They will do it for themselves. Abi, your pastor no one be rich man. Your babalawo no one be rich man. They don't want to be rich. But they are making you kill so that they can harvest the organs of the people you take to them. And you are, I mean, the desperation has turned to mental illness for a lot of people. And I don't think there is enough awareness for that. Young boys, young people, middle-aged people, men and women, they are being caught in skull mining, ritual killings, because they are told it will kind of give them this money. What money? then you have all of them everywhere. They are everywhere. Like, and you see, I have never seen any ritualist, any ritual killer that looks decent. Have you seen any? I have never seen one. Whenever they are caught, they look wretched. Like people who have a mental illness, which I think they probably do have mental illness. Because I'll be waiting now. If money ritual of killing people actually works, your babalawo will not do it for you. It will be too rich to have your time. Because he would have made himself this ritual. And he will be a billionaire like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and few other billionaires you know in the world. They will be the billionaires. They won't have time for you and say, yeah, come, let me make you rich. No. But the economic situation has pushed so many of you. And this is something that is a big problem. I don't know how this can be stopped other than to continue to raise awareness on it and discourage a lot of you from falling victim of becoming a killer. There is no money ritual anywhere. If there is, a lot of the people who have attempted it will be multi-billionaires. But they continue to tell you that, I mean, it's such a place where superstition works so well in that contraption. It's unfortunate, right? You will see somebody in Nigeria, right? You will see somebody who is begging for money, looking like very poor. Then, suddenly, he's rich. Not rich, he appeared rich. He just bought a car. He's building a house. And when you ask him, Alaye, show us the way now, show us the way. What do they do? How you make money? He will tell you that it's the grace of God, oh my brother. It is a grace of God. And automatically, some others will just believe that about Otitendini. Yeah, Otendini. Yahoo plus lo sheo. You know that kind of feeling? And then everybody wants to do it. Money rituals. Otendini. So all of una way be say, you are not proud of how you have criminally acquired wealth. And you are calling it the grace of God, now God's grace. Some of you have involved in other criminal activities. And immediately you touch the money, you got yourself a car, and you started building a house, and everybody just automatically believed that, oh, there must be some rituals that you have done. I mean, I don't understand. But people will be arguing with you. Money ritual deal, Baba. Now, deal. But that is actually not how they are making their money. Some of them are involved in other criminal activities that they can't tell you. So if you feel like they did Ogowo, they will just be like, okay, fine. It's Ogowo. How is that? The spirit will just go and rob the central bank and it will bring the money to you every day. Or you put somebody, and this Yoruba Nollywood, this Yoruba, or the Nollywood generally, it's not even just Yoruba Nollywood. You will see some of these English, supposed English Igbo movies too, right? Where they will be pretending that they are making money from rituals. They say, as long as you can be giving us girls, we need girls. And there are many, many young girls that have been killed, their organs harvested. Okay, so once you give them girls, they will give you money. For example, to sell kidney, right? It is worth over $20,000. And in a contraption like Nigeria, where the economy is tanked, right? So you give them a girl or you supply them girls. To you, they are giving the girls to the, what do you call it, to the gods that is giving you money. And they will give you a bag of money and say, take that money. That is 20 million naira for the girls you supplied us. So you are involved in kidnapping boys, girls, and you are giving them to organ harvesters who are killing them, taking their organs to be sold in the black market all over the world. But then you believe that you have done a ritual. Maybe they will just say, you know what, take this soap in a calabash and you have to bath 1 a.m. every morning. And you must be calling, you must be saying, oh, money, I call on you, money, millions, all of you, the owners of this world, I am calling on you to give me money, I need money, dollars. They do movies. There are movies that actually showed people as like, this is possible, right? And they will say, Baba will tell you that, you know what, if you can bring me girls, you are rich for life. Then you go about luring innocent girls into shrines, and to you, they are donating them to gods that is giving you money. On your way back, they will say, take that bag of money. Take that bag of money. And then you go about taking bags of money. This means that you are kidnapping people and they are harvesting their organs. And you believe in some spirits and some rituals that is giving you that money. Like I said, you just get to see that those who pretended to be doing these money rituals never look rich. No. They look horrible. Like mentally sick people. So if you're a young person, a young man watching me right now, there is nothing called money ritual. It is a decoy way of making you a murderer, a killer. And if you ever try to join this bandwagon, you are a killer. You will never be rich. You will never be rich. There is no spirit anywhere giving anybody money. It is either you are making your money through the crooked criminal way or the legit way. And the legit way is for you to actually work for it and be proud of what you are doing. And when they say, how do you make your money? You should be able to tell people, don't say that grace of God. Don't kill people for money and call it a grace of God. It's unfortunate, though. The world, the more the economy gets worse in that contraption, the more the crimes increases. And the victims in all of this are the innocent people who themselves are trying to kind of get out of the economic doldrum, the economic downturn. I don't know who needs to, probably who need to hear this. Yes, Nigeria will frustrate you. Nigeria will push you to your limits. And then that is the moment the people who are going to use you for their own agenda, that is when they will come around, and you may call it the grace of God. Can you do it? Sir, please show me the way, sir. Yes, I have suffered. I have suffered in my life. Please help me. Show me the way. What do you think? Anything you want me to do, I will do it. Anything? Are you sure? Anything, sir. Anything. Okay. I am going to take you somewhere. Meet me at 10 p.m. tonight. I'll take you somewhere. So they have to create that scene that makes you believe that there is one spirit somewhere that is going to bring money to you. No, stop deceiving yourselves. If Nigeria is a working place, right? Most of those people who are parading themselves as your pastors, your olushos, your babalawos, mamalawos, uncle lawos and brother lawos, sister lawos and others, they will be in jail. yeah, they will be in jail. And you shouldn't play yourselves into their hands. Whatever it is that you want to do to make money, that requires you going to the burial ground to go and mine skulls or to kill your own loved ones for money, you will never be rich. You will only be a murderer, a killer, you know.
Mr. Chairman, impartial panel of judges, thank you, my co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdul Kadir from Kasim Primary School, strongly standing here before you to oppose the motion, which says voting should be mandatory. Firstly, the use of force in a democratic setting is unconstitutional. Forcing people to vote undermines democracy itself. Hence, democracy is built on the ideas of freedom of choice. People should be free to choose who to lead them. Making it mandatory to vote is directly taking away this freedom. Any government that tries to apply the use of force becomes authoritarian, attacking the personal liberties of its citizens. This alone disqualifies the assertion. The credibility of any election is for people to be allowed to come out en masse on their own to vote. That's even allowed the government and international community to assess the extent to which that election was successful. Having said that, consider the kind of politician we have in this country and how politics is being practiced. Who are we making voting mandatory for? Just April last year, we voted Tinubu to be our next president, with every hope that this will change for better. Upon signing him, the first bit of color he gave us was remove the petroleum subsidy, proving the one nation who took in Obia into untold hardship. Prices of goods and services continue to rise. Tinubu, with all his charisma, cannot handle this country the way we want. Presently, we are experiencing the capital of the measures, and as all this are happening, our lawmakers who have the constitutional power to call everybody to order, including President, Deputy Note. Particularly the Senate instant, they are busy budgeting for 160 million naira flashy cars. Housing allowances, it is for God's sake. Is this the kind of our leaders who want to make voting mandatory for? Leaders that have turned out to be bunch of thieves, contractors, betrayers, hungry men, and above all, from the constitutional function, the elected God. I beg you, Baba God, scatter them, destroy them, including Njik and Adi, that try to make voting mandatory for us. Because of this great leader, we all know that today, hungry, starvation, and what happening died is the order of them. Burn out of the insincerity of our leaders. It is often said that a child that licked his mother's pot of soup and free tested the goes back to support the second term. The most painful part of this argument is that our retirees who have served this country for 35 years have been neglected. Particularly our teachers who taught and make this country great have been denied their gratuity. Some of the retirees have died. Some of them developed paralysis, while others on their sick bed as a result of inhuman attitudes of our government. Some of their children can no longer go to school because parents can afford paying their school fees again. These are people who are better 2 times the elite. They voted under some of them under rent, all with the hope that things will change for better. No way. And some unscrupulous elements are somewhere agitating for mandatory voting, as if they are part of the detention of our greedy leaders. Oh, Thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike, so that we eliminate all of them, so that we have peace in our nation. Or join them in one aeroplane, so that it will crash land in the course of their journey. Furthermore, our security agents, i.e., the police and army, are being used by the ruling parties to scare away voters from the police station, by the use of gun and daggers just to prepare for Boston really. And where that is not possible, courts are being used to turn over the outcome of the election, which is simply because the candidate is the incumbent or the highest bidder. Money. This thing has turned our country into misery, starvation, hungry. We are dying as the expense of some few greedy individuals. Yet, we are still preaching mandatory voting. What a nonsense. Introducing mandatory voting will be a calculated attempt to enslave us in our fatherland. Thank you.
You remember him? Oh, Thunder, where are you? The young man, even though we believe he's influenced by his teacher, but he delivered very well for his age. why anyone or whoever is promoting mandatory voting, it seems to be smarter than some of you who are like older guys that are preparing for 2027. Yes, 2027. We must get thiefnubu out. We must all come together. Yeah. Everybody must get the PVC, poverty validation card. But the young guy was like, what is the essence? That is his line of argument. Anybody that is asking us to have mandatory voting is our enemy. Because what is the essence? Is it to elect the criminals who force themselves on you that will end up dealing with you in such a way that is so inhuman? It's like inhuman way they treat you. What is the essence of voting? Similar thing that so many of us also objected to on this platform. How do you go into voting when your vote doesn't really count? A place where you do not really have any control over choosing your own leaders, where supposed elections are pretty much like the normal rituals of validation, just to validate the already preemptive results. So that young man was like, wow, I mean, it should be a crime to say that we must participate in voting. To vote for who? The criminals? The leaders in that contraption? The dealers? I call them dealers though, not leaders. Oh, thunder, where are you? This is the time to bring all of them together in a single plane and crash it somewhere. Anybody asking us to participate in any voting is pretty much our enemy. And it's right. Because voting, or what do you call it, in a place where the entire system is rigged against you, and you know it beforehand. It's not only a stupid thing, it is self-sabotaging. And there is no normal person that should intentionally be self-sabotaging themselves. If you are normal, you shouldn't do it. So if you are to participate in any charade, you do not have any right to turn around again later and say you are rigged out and then complain bitterly, then to wait for another charade again. I said it on this platform that to those of you who believe in one Nigeria, like if you are for real, and you believe that the likes of Obi, Atiku, and the rest of them have something different from what you are being offered right now, they will first of all give you the assurance that you participating in any charade, right, or called elections, right, is never going to be like it was. How would they do that? They should mobilize those of you who are willing to vote for them or who voted for them, mobilize all of you to that street. Force what is called the constitutional change, electoral reform, and get those who participated in the last one arrested. That's like asking for too much, isn't it? Because it worked in the favor of APC, and thiefnubu is not a Berejolantan. So it is impossible to get them to actually do the right thing. It's like asking them to sack themselves, and they won't do it. But you will have to force them to. If genuinely Atiku had 6.9 million voters, Obi's vote that was cut down from over 10 million to 6.1 million, that itself is 13 million voters. You do not need all of the 13 million. You only need maybe about 10% of that. 1.3 million. That's enough to force the hand of the rogue establishment that is built to work against you. You have the number. I mean, when somebody comes to Mayegu and said, hey, what is the way forward? I don't have 1 million people. I've only got 100,000 subscribers.
And half of them don't even live in Nigeria. They don't vote there. The remaining half of them are probably those who will listen to me, or maybe 20% or 30% of them will listen to me. So that means, all in all, I could possibly pull, if they will listen to me, I can only pull maybe about 10,000. If, I said if. But think about those of you who physically stood by these guys, even when you were assaulted, where you are like, even killed. You stood by them just a year ago or a year and a half ago. 13 million. Those who have millions of people that actually believes in them, who lives inside that contraption, they have more influence, more power. So stop asking me what is the way forward. Stop asking me. And stop asking me to come and lead you. I do not have millions of supporters. You should turn to those of the people you probably believe could change that contraption. They are the ones that could really change it for you. Not my ego, not me. Not me leading anybody. I mean, if I lead 1,000 or 2,000 people, what would that change? But imagine if Atiku and Obi and even Kwakwansop altogether 15 million. That's some number. If they just pick 2 million of you who have now seen Shege, total Shege under thiefnubu, if they can put 2 million of you out, that will change a lot. That is the solution you need. Come back home and lead you. Lead who? Lead 5,000 people to where? When you have the people that can lead millions of you. Because whether you want that or not, right? In 2027, you are still going to be millions. There are still going to be millions of you. Your parents, your cousins, your family members, your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, and the rest of them who are going to fall into these different camps. Abi, they are going to be queuing together to go and vote. No be so? But they are telling you to join them and vote. Good luck. So finally, the report we are receiving from South Africa is that thiefnubu meeting with Cyril Ramaphosa, their president, was a bad omen. And for Ramaphosa to go ahead and say, Nigerians are welcome in South Africa. There is this xenophobia in South Africa. It is really, really deep. Some black South Africans, I don't want to say all of them because that would be very wrong. Some black South Africans, they hate their fellow Africans with passion. I'm talking about not hating them for just saying, okay, we don't like you. They hated them with passion, that they have killed many, many Africans in their country, like mob attack, set them ablaze, burn their shops, burn their businesses, loot their shop. You get like hatred to strong xenophobia. African countries played a huge role in fighting the apartheid in South Africa, simply because other Africans in solidarity felt like the white South Africans who have subjected the black South Africans to this unbelievable maltreatment in their own country. Imagine in your own country, and settlers, white settlers who came to your country, now ruled over you like the colonialist, then created an apartheid that subjected you to become second class or even like a third class citizens in your own country. And you do not hate the white people that much. Like you do not dislike them the way you dislike your... there's a unification decree or something in South Africa where the black South African sees the white South Africans as Africans, and every other Africans who is black is seen as an enemy. And I have never seen the success of creating this hatred between brothers and brothers like it's successful in South Africa. And it is really, really successful. You see this tribalism that we are facing, example in Nigeria, it was created by the whites. Yeah, there is evidence of that, where the divide and rule tactic really worked. The Fulanis, the Hausas hate you. So you have to do everything to be the favorite of the colonialist. Be the favorite. So by snitching on your supposed fellow Africans, so they can favor you. So the Jaws snitching on the Shekiris, the Robos, snitching on the Barons, the Jokons, snitching on, that kind of thing. The divide and rule. They created it. Not as if to say we were like not raiding ourselves before they came. Yeah, we used to raid ourselves. But it became much like pronounced with colonialism. And colonialism helped the white rulers to dominate for real. They didn't have to do much. All they had to do is just to make you not to trust your fellow black. Okay, you don't trust them. You know what they told us? Don't trust this one. Yeah, you don't trust that one. Okay, so everybody started snitching on themselves. And therefore, the white man became the supreme being. Yeah, the repository of all your secrets. Say, let us tell you something. You know, the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Hausas, and all of that. Okay, yeah. If you want to deal with the Yorubas, you can do this. If you want to deal with the Igbos, you need to. You get so. Because of that, the divide and rule lasted longer, and it made the colonialism lasted longer as well. But over time, people tend to come together as Africans to face the common adversary, the colonialist. So South Africa, as the last country to be under the apartheid rule, the colonialist, other African countries united, against them by trying to, fight for the freedom of South Africa. Now, South Africa got their freedom. Apartheid was supposed to be dead in 1990, right? Mandela came out of a prison. He was supposed to unite the rest of the black South Africans with the rest of Africa, but it didn't succeed. Mandela was considered a sellout by some black South Africans. That some African countries were actually like funding the training of black South Africans in their country. For example, in Nigeria, there were so many trained teachers, South African teachers, doctors, nurses, engineers by Nigeria, free of charge for years. So that when South Africa becomes free, they could go back to their country, right? And reciprocate the same. But today, a black South African will give you all the reasons why all that talk and nonsense. Yeah. I don't know what went wrong, but something actually really broke in them. I mean, you need to listen to some of them. The hatred is legendary. And the hatred for Nigerians, oh my God, that's even different. Some said it's out of jealousy of how some Nigerians live in South Africa, like the level of opulence they display. Then what happened to the other South Africans? I'm talking about South African countries, because yeah, South Africa is a country. There are other countries within the South Africa, in the south of Africa. The hatred is the same. Zimbabwe, Mozambique, in all these countries, right? It's the same. Somalia, Somalis and all of that. But they burn people for streets in South Africa. They go set somebody ablaze. They have a group, I can't remember the name they gave them. They have a group that goes about with long sticks, with machetes, including guns. The day Operation Douala or something is called in South Africa. I can't remember. I'm going to go check. Douala or something. Douala also. Please tell me, what is that operation of the blacks, chasing blacks in South Africa? They are very popular. Like they are very popular. It's like saying we are going to call Bakassi boys for you. Or we are going to call the OPC for you. In South Africa. So the hatred is that much. So when thiefnubu went there, Dudula, God bless you, Operation Dudula, in South Africa. It is believed that the Operation Dudula, they are pro-blacks, black South Africans. In fact, they are the ones fighting for the rights of South Africans because their politicians have sold them off. That's the belief. They said their politicians have sold them off to other Africans. They have no problems with whites. No problems with white South Africa. To them, white South Africans are more Africans than other Africans. Yeah, it's a very strong belief. Like I said, I am not going to say all of them, okay? Because there are enlightened South Africans who are blacks that are totally embarrassed and ashamed of this xenophobic attitude of their own fellow blacks in South Africa. But guess what? They have names for them. They have names for them. They call these Nigerians jollof. You know, say when you say Nigerian jollof, we are talking about food. In South Africa, if they talk about Nigerian jollof, they're actually talking about, when they talk about jollof, they're talking about Nigerians. And that's a very much slow word in South Africa, jollof. Oh, you are following this jollof. So it's like a bad thing. If you are a South African, black South African, and you are dating a jollof, you are dating a Nigerian, it's called you are dating jollof. That's a bad thing. So when when thiefnubu visited their country a few days ago, before on his way back from France, and met with Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa made announcements because South Africa needs Nigeria's lithium to power their EV industry, electric vehicle industry. So this is why Ramaphosa, because to them, thiefnubu went to France to go and sign some mineral resources. What's that again? It's called the crucial. No, they had a name they gave to it. Critical resources, critical mineral resources from Nigeria. As a deal, thiefnubu signed, MOU is signed with Macron. So Ramaphosa put a call through that thiefnubu should stop by in this their binational commission set up in South Africa. Binational means two countries coming together to share resources, business, ideas, and development. So South Africa with thiefnubu was that they they shouldn't give everything to France. In South Africa, they need lithium. And Nigeria has lithium in abundance. And electric vehicle industry in South Africa is coming up, as they believe that electric vehicle is the future instead of a petrol gas vehicle, something. So he had to give something in return. So what Ramaphosa now did was to say his government in South Africa would now allow Nigerian businessmen and women to apply for visa, easy visa. There's no pressure now, nothing too much to ask for. What is this now? If you are interested in coming to do business in South Africa, because they need those who are going to be taking the lithium to South Africa, and similarly, they need South African businesses to be able to come to Nigeria and then take all this lithium too. So visa is the problem. So let's ease the visa application for Nigerians. And then they added the Jara. If you want to come to spend money in South Africa as a tourist, you don't even need passports. Just go online and get e-visa. You are welcome. Here you get. Now that's supposed to be something great. In my own opinion, it should be something great for South Africa. But guess what? The black South Africans are now saying that Ramaphosa must resign. How dare you? We don't want Nigerians in our country. How dare you go and promise them that they can get all this easy visa? They're asking him to resign. And remember, it was this year. Was it this year that he just won a narrow election that returned him as their president? A narrow one. The same reason, though, is why they don't like EFFO, Julius Malema's party. Because Julius Malema was trying to educate these black South Africans that you cannot isolate yourselves. If you have any rage or anger, you should share it with the white people that controls over 80% of your land. Imagine, 80% of land in South Africa is controlled. And the normal black South Africans, right? They only have access to maybe about 5 or 10% of the land in South Africa. Like they can't, and land is wealth. This is where you can possibly have housings owned by the blacks, farms owned by blacks. So the whites owns all of this land, majority of it. You are angry with your fellow black people. They know they teach history for your school. They don't teach all of our histories. The role played by all these black African countries during your liberation struggle. How could you hate on them? How? And you are comfortable with your white apartheid rulers. Or they don't like Malema. Not all of them, like I said. So Malema is considered a traitor by some black South Africans for speaking for fellow Africans in South Africa up to this moment. And that's why they said that Malema will never be president. Yeah, they do say that. They're telling them that Malema will never. You see, the population of South Africa, the blacks have over 70 to 80% of the population. When it comes to the land, they only control about 5 or so percent of it. So the rage, the anger towards their fellow blacks is unbelievable. The wealth of South Africa is controlled by the whites, South Africans. And then the lucky few black ones who are mostly politicians or the friends of politicians who have made their money through politics or contracts and the rest of that, they are pro-white too. So now they're asking Ramaphosa to resign. Do you get that now? I don't know if he is going to or how that's going to happen. I don't know. But some are saying that it is a thiefnubu's effect. Thiefnubu met with Emmanuel Macron. And Macron's government has collapsed. And right now, except something's miraculously something miraculous happens, Macron may be forced to resign as the president of France before July next year. It may just be a coincidence, okay? Some said that Kamala Haris, Joe Biden, they congratulated thiefnubu after rigging the elections in Nigeria. And then the Democrat Party in America paid dearly for it. You know. Rishi Sunak greeted thiefnubu and congratulated him for rigging elections in Nigeria. And the Conservative Party, the Tories in the UK, they lost they lost in an election that is considered the worst election outing for the Tories in more than 60 years. So they say it is thiefnubu's effect. So, and I said, well, we have not heard from the Indians. Okay, the Indian president called him Oremi, my friend. But we haven't heard from them yet. So don't worry, Mayogu, wait for it. It is thiefnubu's effect. Whatever it touches is destroyed. As okay. So, all the best to all parties monitoring all of this, okay? I am going to call it a known. Normally, we would have a chat and have a call and all that, but we didn't start early, so we will just have to finish early, and then we can prepare for later this evening if we still have that time. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me, or maybe your morning, your brunch time with me. I am going to see you later with the real prime time session on Mayogun's Diary Political. Enjoy the rest of the morning. Possibly enjoy your weekend as well. Good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary Political. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Presido bá rúfin. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.